Hello, everybody. Welcome to session 36, the finale of Changeling the Lost, second edition, Viva Lost Vegas. One way or another, we'll be finishing up the game tonight. Before we get started, just a quick announcement. There is currently a New Year's sale on Roll20, and there are a couple of Onyx Path products available. The link is in the description. So, let's go around and go over what everyone's been doing with their downtime for the last 5 days. Who wants to go first?
I will.
All right.
So, on day one, I hosted a small meeting with the Grimalkin population. I was asking for their ideas on how to stymie the Lord of Tales, if they had any ideas. And they had a host of quote-unquote decidedly feline suggestions. They seem to have taken the idea that the Lord of Tales is a book to heart, and they suggest gnawing on him, dragging him around by the cover, and dunking him in the water bowl. So we will take these under advisement. Day two, I worked on getting them all into their book armor. The Grimalkins are easy enough to outfit. They seem to find the concept of the paper laminate armor fascinating and take turns reading each other. Because of course they do, they're adorable. Day three, I did drill with Leo and his strike team, and I let them know that the plan is not to harm anything or act aggressive until we're not being watched. The discussion was fruitful, and after he learns that we shouldn't be attacking while being watched, he assigned several spotters to look for enemies who might be watching. Day four, I actually talked with a lot of other changelings to try to get a map together of the Grand Library based on what people remember. And apparently most people remember very, very little. But between several hundred changelings, we got a decent heat map of memories that's present and at least decently reliable. And then day five, I practiced my penmanship with my new iron nib and started daydreaming of stories to write. And the pen itself is easy to use, but even being near the nib, I feel the burning weight of the iron. My whole being screams not to touch the nib. Of course, that means it's working. So, that was me.
All right, who wants to go next?
Shall I?
Fun.
So, first, met with Jack about getting help with this matter from his free company, calling in every favor I've got with them. Royal Flush was relatively aware of what's happening with Las Vegas. You know, this is not something that'd be easy to keep secret, not that anyone was trying to. And considering that the free company currently exists by our good graces, and, well, we have a common enemy, Jack is easily able to get the board of directors on board with the plan. I spent my second day and the remainder of my money purchasing a large amount of ink for reasons you will see in a little bit. A few industrial printing companies are quite willing to part with their supplies when someone walks in with a wad of cash. So I worked with Will to find a place within the Freehold's protection we could hole up and fight from without drawing too much mortal attention. We deployed the cover we built and started digging a moat around it. This ended up being, well, the mining area where Cotton Industries got started, where we ended up fighting Rupert a little ways back. So, we'll be fighting in the old cotton mines, as it were. Fourth day, I ran a meeting between all the factions we've got cooperating on this matter, get organization and tactics figured out, and get everyone on the same page by whatever means I could. It spent all day. It took a lot of time. There was a lot of arguing, but If there's one thing that I'm good at, it's getting people to listen to me, and we've got everyone on the same page, and everyone knows what everyone else is doing. Lastly, with nothing else I could think to prepare, I located my fetch using Relentless Pursuit, tracked him down, dropped off a pile of cash, and explained what happened. If he doesn't hear from me by January 2nd, he's to report to the rooftop bar I've claimed and take my life back over as he did before. If not, we'll sort out a nice thing for him because he didn't deserve any of the things that were happening to him, and none of it was his fault. He was not happy to see me, but he was willing to take the money and go get himself an apartment. And, well, we'll see how that goes. But, I don't know. Elliot didn't want to leave that particular thing hanging, and if he wasn't going to be using his life, someone else might as well.
Alrighty. So, first day, spent the day discussing with Agatha what happened with the weird and seeing if we get any advice. And basically, the advice that I was given was try to play towards the letter of the agreement rather than the spirit, which, yeah. But Agatha was very interested to learn every detail she could about what we did. And so there's a number of autumn courtiers who are going to be following some new leads. Day 2 got some special ammunition, so that's gonna be fun. Day 3 spent the day with the staff of my ranch, getting every bit that we could together for the war effort. So all of the steaks that I've been stockpiling and all of the milk that I've been stockpiling. So that's gonna be fun. And day 4 and 5, I spent camped out and keeping an eye on the Grand Library. So the 4th day saw the bespectacled gentleman and Jack's old bodyguard. And then on day 5, I saw them the True Fae with some hobs, and it looks like they're gearing up for war.
Alrighty. So that finishes that out. So, let's get started. Today is Friday, December 31st, 2021, New Year's Eve, and the date of the Lord of Tales is announced to his attack. Where are you currently and what are you doing?
Well, I have just gotten to the cotton mining place after stopping in with a certain author friend of mine, picking up whatever he has written down, and got a printout of that manuscript to carry with me.
I've been at the mine pretty much all day getting things set up. We got mirrors set up on all the equipment, as well as ammo cans on top of each one as well.
And I think we've got the moat filling up with ink now.
I've got the fetches, the strike team, and I can't remember if I have any Grimalkins with me or not.
You can if you want them.
Yes.
I'm sure I've got some, but most are over at cotton mining. And we are camped out in the hedge waiting for the signal.
Which NPCs are going to be where, since you guys are orchestrating this operation?
I think Leo and his biker gang are the strike team, unless anyone else specifically volunteered to be there.
Z is also here.
And the fetches thereof.
All right. Let me go ahead and hand off some character sheets to you guys, since the NPCs are going to be around you. Go ahead and and look at their character sheets and ask them to do what you need them to do.
Got it.
Since we're splitting the party, do you guys want to take my NPCs and I'll take some of yours?
Yeah, so we can. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll handle the NPCs while you're starring, and you can play the NPCs while we're starring.
Perfect.
So, for those of you playing at home who haven't been here during the 3 or 4 hours where we've been planning for this, we've got 2 teams going on. Kenzie is going to be leading a strike team directly into the Grand Library, deep in Arcadia. Because of the wording we are interpreting of his contract, he is not able to prevent people from going into the library to read his books. But if he should for any second stop paying attention to them, they will be in a position to do a large amount of damage very quickly. And if he spends resources watching them, well, great, they're not fighting us. As for us, we have moved everyone out of the Four Seasons because we do not believe we could hold it. And we have moved to a place in the Ironside where we have been specifically designing it to be defensive. We've moved all of the Changelings and the title out here so that they can't access any of them without getting through the lines. Because if anyone's anywhere else, the obvious thing to do would be to go take hostages. So, best to do this somewhere we can hold, and honestly, somewhere where we're not going to replace the threat of our keeper with 500 hunters coming to find out what the fuck happened in Vegas.
Alrighty, I have distributed the character sheets. So, let's start with the home team rather than the away team. What are you guys doing?
Sorry, Tibbs, you go first.
Okay. So are there any people who are good at fighting at the mines? There's the Gromolkins who have been training.
We've
Is there
got
anybody else?
We've got all the knights who aren't Knights of Summer, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, you've got all of the various knights who aren't summer, spring, autumn, and winter, and I've given you all of the character sheets for any important character who might be willing to assist.
Jesus.
Okay. That's a lot. Okay.
I've also given you the layout that you got from the survey of the Grand Library.
The quick question. Where did Clara go? Because I don't understand her position vis-a-vis those. Did she go off with Leo, or is she here with us at the mines?
Kenzie?
I think Clara would make a great addition to the mine team. I can't imagine Summer not being willing to split their forces, and I don't think Clara wants to come back here.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable with sending Clara back there.
Okay.
Alrighty.
So basically, basic in addition to setting up the stuff that I was talking about, um, we've also set aside some areas within the mines for medical treatment and resupplying, and we're also making sure that everybody knows where everybody is, like at least where their initial spots are, so that when things first kick off, at least they're aware of where they can shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. And since you've gotten the assistance of uh, since you've got the assistance of Royal Flush and the Fetch Conclave, who's going where in that regard? Are they going to the mines, or is any of them joining the strike team?
Let me take a quick look here. I think that God, what was her name? Lucerne would probably be best on the strike team because she's got that stuff where she's able to make other people shoot each other and stuff like that. But she's not so good on a simple line to line fighting.
Yep.
Causing chaos in the back ranks would probably be more her speed. I don't know what Jack is good at.
Feel free to take some time to look over the character sheets and make your assessments.
Okay.
While you're looking at that, Kenzie, anyone in particular you want with you?
Yeah, so far I've got Lucerne, Leo, and Kurt. And I think I would like Mario De Soto and his mount. If that's okay with the guys.
I think that's a pretty easy sell. Could I actually send Jack with you as well for 2 reasons?
Yeah.
He's got the Royal Court contract, which means that if stuff starts getting a little too real, you've got a backup for why they can't fight you. And 2, I think him and Will being on the same battlefield is the worst idea we could ever have.
Good call.
And honestly, I think he would really like the opportunity to go fuck up somebody who personally fucked up his house.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So, the first thing I want to do here is make some rolls. You were trying to set this up in such a way that the Lord of Tales wouldn't know what you'd done. Otherwise, there doesn't seem to be a lot of point. So, let's get some rolls and see if you were able to evade his notice.
All right.
Let's see.
And I also have Gustav Holder.
That's a great idea.
Actually, would it be better for the away team to have Doc?
No.
No, Doc's gotta stay home to you.
One-
You guys are fighting.
I would never send Doc anywhere that dangerous. He's too traumatized. He'd fall apart.
Right.
1 step in Arcadia and the boy's going to be going off the loony bin. 2, we are the place where people are going to get the most hurt. If actual violence breaks out for the away team, the correct move is for them to get to the exits.
Okay.
do what damage they can, and bail.
Alrighty.
Alrighty.
All right, so let's make this an opposed roll. Considering that we're talking about planning here, I'm going to say that this would be intelligence plus stealth or subterfuge, unless you have another suggestion.
Could I suggest... Actually, no, that sounds pretty reasonable. Lex, I'm afraid that those look like your dice to me.
Okay, what was the roll again?
It's going to be an opposed roll. Intelligence plus stealth or subterfuge.
Okay, intelligence plus subterfuge it is.
Would you like some help?
I would love some help.
I believe this is a fairly mundane sort of activity, literally trying to evade one's enemy's notice.
This.
+1 from me.
You know what? Let me. You said subterfuge?
Yes.
No, I can't help there.
Is it a chance die?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you seem to have done fine. Kenzie, subtler than you would guess when it matters.
Yeah, apparently.
Damn, 9 successes. Okay.
All right. Bear with me.
Tenterhooks, man.
Alright. Hey!
Hey!
All right. So, your plan was able to evade the Lord of Tales' notice. At the old cotton company mines, you've got about 1,000 changelings, only about 100 of whom are worth anything in a fight. Luckily, Winter and everything has this place wired up for surveillance purposes. With the help of the more technically savvy courtiers like Emmett, as like Gizmo, you've got some generators set up powering some laptops in order to keep tabs on it. Around 9 p.m., you notice a hedge gate opening in the elevator door. A horde of hobgoblins, easily in the hundreds, starts pouring out, with the Lord of Tales at the head. You see that he has one person with him, in familiar bookbinder robes with a mask that reads Great Expectations.
The last bookbinder. Can't wait to shelve her.
You watch through the surveillance cameras as the horde pours through and searches the freehold top to bottom. As no one was left behind, while they root through everything and steal anything that wasn't nailed down, there's no one for them to kill or take prisoner. You watch the Lord of Tales scream inaudibly at Great Expectations for some time. Oh, thank you, Rose.
Thank you, Rosie.
Before the horde exits through the same hedge gate they arrived. Will watches with the group, his eyes narrowed. We can expect them to be looking for us.
Every minute they lose is one more minute we have to get ready.
Then we had best begin getting ready now. This is your plan. What do you have for me?
Well, first order of business, you see that moat over there?
All right, so where is this in relation to the mine?
So basically, we were using the fact that there is a big setup, essentially structure here, as a place where we can store all the people who aren't fighting. We're keeping all of the stuff that matters deep in there, and because it's an old mine, there isn't really a lot of door in there. You know, it's a big open thing with one entrance. If a gate's there, we have one person whose entire job is to shut any gate that opens there. You know? Beyond that, we want them to try and get into the mine physically from outside of it. There's a moat of ink outside of it that they'll have to cross, and then we've got the cover basically out in front of that and deployed back and back and back, so we have retreat points. If they start shooting over the moat at us, they risk damaging the books. If they run over the moat, they risk getting contaminated with ink and thus potentially damaging the books whenever they touch us. Any choice is bad. But we have the ability to keep retreating back and back and back whenever things get overwhelming and still have good cover and weaponry. We've got the knights out front, and the Grimalkins are behind, throwing paint and dip balloons at whatever they can reach.
And I'm gonna be jaunting between spots and taking shots at key people.
Agatha points out that that the Freehold does not have to win this battle. We've went over his contract, and if you remember the final clause, in order to maintain his post as the Lord of the Grand Library, the Lord of Tales has to enshrine a new story before the dawn of the new year.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know if he has done that yet, but usually these things are done by the letter, so this would be something that he would do as a transitory ceremony, putting it off as close to the Mullen of Midnight as possible. If he can be held off in such a way to keep him from returning to the Grand Library and doing that, that in and of itself would break his contract.
I want to provide him lots of bad choices, and if we start getting overwhelmed, We have this as a negotiation. A black box, which he shakes, rattling the manuscript inside. I, nor anyone but the author, has read it. Thus, it would be a new story under any reasonable interpretation of it.
So did you say that you'd read it?
No, I have not read it.
Ah, okay.
I, nor anyone but the author. Obviously, an author has to have read their own story. That's how anything works, and I think that he would have lost his title years ago if it didn't work like that.
Fair enough. So, this is the quiet before the storm. We'll be momentarily doing some rolls to see how long it takes them to arrive. In the meantime, let's swap over to the strike team. Kenzie,
Yes.
you've got Leo, Jack, and a few others alongside you. With how many nights did you take with you? Just all of the summer nights?
Yeah, all the summer nights.
All right. So, where are you at the moment, and where's your force?
Myself and my force are in the hedge, ready to go into Arcadia.
So, are you at the area that you found that leads into the Grand Library?
Yes.
All right. Let's see if you've managed to get here without tipping anyone off. So I think this would be wits or dexterity plus stealth or perhaps subterfuge. Unless you are willing to pitch another roll, and of course this will be opposed.
Dex plus subterfuge sounds wonderful to me.
Would Jack of Hearts be able to help you?
Makes sense?
He's a very subterfuge guy. So I will be putting him to work on that matter. Okay.
Alrighty, make your rolls.
+4.
Not bad.
Okay, that's good. All right. All right. I didn't give him the 8 again, but I'm not going to re-roll that. That would be no fun. So we're going to give this victory to Kinsey. Between Kinsey and Jack's natural stealth ability, you're able to direct your force to the cusp of the Grand Library without alerting any of the guarding hobgoblins of your presence. From here, you are able to note the occasional sight of the bespectacled gentleman patrolling the grounds.
Jeff, what do I do?
Quite simply put, if anyone tries to stop you from being here, they're violating the terms of the library, anyone left here is one of the master's things, and if a fight breaks out, fucking kill him. Remember, he's not going to respawn like what's his name did.
Kurt has crafts, right?
Who has crafts?
Kurt?
He does, I believe. Give me 30
Is
seconds.
he with you?
Yes,
Yes, Kurt is with me.
he's a summer knight.
All right.
I need Kurt to whip up about 24 library cards.
Hey, Tibbs. You're Kurt.
Yeah. I'm Kurt. Okay, give me a sec. Kurt. Alright, sorry. Ein Moment bitte. Okay. Let's see here. It's done. Alright, well, what dice pool are we going with here? Intelligence plus crafts?
That makes sense to me.
Alright. And he does not have access to his workshop right now, correct?
Nope.
Alright, and yeah. Okay. 2 successes.
All right. So, using the various tools of the hedge and some glamour, Kurt is able to cobble together some basic library cards with strikingly accurate portraits of each member of the party.
Okay, excellent. We walk in.
All right, just gonna head right on in.
I mean, I look for traps first.
All right, give me a roll for that.
Wits plus larceny?
Makes sense to me.
Everyone's favorite crime boss.
4 successes.
The area you found that looks over the Grand Library is towards the backgrounds. But even here, you can see that the perimeter has been encircled with alarms as well as some sort of pressure trap. You're not sure what until you trigger it.
I throw a rock.
Right, roll me a chance die.
Ten, 6. Roll a 26 on a d10.
All right, you throw a rock. It bounces across the ground, and you see the ground ripple as something digs its way out from underneath it. A small creature, roughly about the size of a bowling ball, with most of its body mass being taken up by a mouthful of razor-sharp teeth, rockets out of the ground. It has no eyes or ears and seems to depend on the pressure on the ground to detect. It immediately snaps up the rock, grinds it to dust in its jaws, and digs back underground, covering the area that it just exploded from with fresh dirt.
Since we know how to trigger it now, and we know what it is, y'all up for playing a little baseball?
Yeah.
Hey, Leo. Batter up?
All right. So who wants to roll for Leo?
That sounds like a good time. Let's see here. Let me grab Leo.
I have so many PDFs open. Oh my god.
All
Welcome
right.
to my world.
I bet.
All right. So Leo here. All right. Can I argue? Let's see here. Strength plus brawl. Punch it out of the air.
Makes sense to me.
Alrighty. So, all right. Am I gonna? Is anyone assisting Leo on this?
I will. What is it? Strength plus brawl?
Mhm.
Strength plus brawl. You know what? I think Kurt's gonna help as well. He is? Actually, no, he's not. Kurt's actually not very good at brawl.
Believe it or
Three.
not, this is not Jack's strength here. I know that's a surprise to everyone.
All right. Let's see. All right. So that's 3 successes. Mackenzie. Let's brawl. Okay. All right. Does he get any bonuses from his summer mantle?
Let's take a look. Give me a moment to see if it's got anything appropriate.
I know he's got some real fucking armor, but that's about all I know offhand.
Gustav Halder might be useful.
Gustav Holder?
He has animal ken birds all the way to 5. We could have birds drop small rocks.
Da, da, da.
Why was I Googling? I know exactly where Mantle is in the merit section.
Okay. So, Leo is extra as hell, right?
Mhm.
Very
Oh yeah.
balanced. Okay. So, I think it would be very appropriate for him to cast or to use Flames of Summer first.
Also, just to let you know, in fact, the 2-dot mantle effect for summer would be appropriate. Gain bonus dice equal to your character's mantle dots to mundane attack rolls when actively defending her freehold against a Fey threat.
That is
Okay.
basically everything that's happening tonight. Everything we are doing is defending us against a Fey threat.
I would recommend that whoever's not actively under focus take a look and see at mantle. A lot of the nobles and stuff you have with you have high mantle ratings, and some of these effects might be useful. The 3-dot mantle effect also gains general and ballistic armor equal to the character's mantle dots, which stacks with worn armor when acting as a protector, bodyguard, or champion for someone else.
Okay. So, first things first, Leo is going to be rolling for the Flames of Summer. That's 5 successes.
All right, what does the effect of that contract do?
Okay, stamina plus survival plus mantle. Yeah. Let's see here. The change seems to grow in stature and wrath. Add 2 bonus dice to all physical rolls for the duration. She also ignores wound penalties and need not roll stamina to remain conscious until if her last health box fills with damage. Exceptional success. Flames surround the changeling, giving her unarmed attacks an additional +1 lethal modifier.
So they go from 0 bashing, or in case I think it's 0 lethal on a beast, to 1 lethal.
Yeah.
All right, Leo's mane glows golden before lighting a flame as he activates the contract.
Yeah.
Swing,
So-
bada bada.
So it was 3
I will
bonus.
have to say this is no longer a mundane attack roll.
Okay. Damn. All right, so he is now getting 2 plus
3.
Kenzie's bonus gets us 5, plus strength gets us 10, plus brawl gets us to 15, and
Plus,
away we go. Was that?
and plus 2 from Flames of Summer.
And 2 from Flames of Summer. No, I added that in the beginning.
Okay.
All right, and
That would be 6.
so how are you going to bait the creature out? Kinsey suggested having King Holder use birds.
Yeah, we saw how high it jumps, so we could just have a bird fly over that height, and Gustav definitely brought his birds with him today. I mean, that's one of his primary weapons.
All right,
But with Leo, we could probably have him baseball bat small rocks over the lawn.
Well, Leo's doing the swinging when it comes out of the ground now.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
all right. So I need Holder to roll for baiting it out.
Animal Ken plus wits?
Sure.
Don't forget to take the specialty in bird.
Yep. Sorry, just trying to find Gustav. I have so many pages. Oh my god, I have so many pages. So yeah, that's wits plus animal ken plus birds.
All right. King Holder has brought a small flock of the more useful birds along with him. He orders a hawk, one of the faster ones, to fly over the lawn and drag its claws around across the grass to bait out the bird. Bait out the creature. The hawk does so, its claws just barely touching the grass. Moments later, the burrowing creature leaps from the ground. The bird, being as fast as it is, has long since gone. But Leo, waiting right where he was set to be, waits for the creature to leap from the ground and punches it. The flaming force of his fist knocking it across the lawn and into one of the statues in the courtyard. The small burrowing hobgoblin goes still. And hydrate, everybody.
Hydrate.
Thank you,
Void. Thank you for the cheers and for the hydrate. All right, so now you just need to find a way past the alarm, and you're safe.
Is there any? So there's. Do we know what kind of alarm it is?
You're not entirely sure, but considering where you are, it's probably not electronic. It's likely either manual or magical.
If you want, we can throw some of your very magical friends at it. Uh, Kurt, I believe, has a very good occult.
Yes.
Gustav has a very good occult.
Cool. One of them would work fine.
Tibbs, do you want to lead this one or shall I?
Mm. So, I mean, as with Kurt, I can. He has pretty decent occult, so we can have him roll.
All right, then I will support him with Gustav. Is he a wits or intelligence sort of boy?
He has just a bit of intelligence. So, wits plus occult then, yeah.
Wits plus occult?
Mm-hmm. Makes sense to me.
All right.
Okay.
Kurt. All right, that's the assistance roll, right?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So make your actual roll.
4 successes.
All right. Kit and Kingholder work together to divine what's going on with the alarms. Eventually, together, they're able to reveal a set of hidden glyphs and ley lines throughout the yard. It looks like breaking one of these glyphs will supernaturally alert everyone in the library to the presence of an intruder.
Is there a way across them without breaking them?
Yes, they're very much covering the ground, but not completely. The designs are drawn in such a way that it is possible, with a certain amount of agility, to get through without stepping on it. That would be a roll of dexterity plus athletics and a -3.
What if we didn't? What if we simply went over it?
That would also work if you didn't want to just simply walk over it, walk around it.
First thing before we do a bunch of extra work, what does Mario de Soto's Fey Mount have for its keywords? Does anyone have that? Burden back. Yes. It's got many league and burden back. Does that many league give it the ability to fly or jump at all?
Let's pull it up.
Either way, it should have a pretty good dex plus athletics, and we can just have it ferry people over using the fact it's got burden back.
All right, Prowler. Let's see. What can Prowler do?
Thank you, Void.
Thank you, Void.
Thanks again, Void, for the gift sub. And yeah, Prowler does not have the ability to fly.
Okay. So, however, he does have a pretty good dex plus athletics at 7, which I think will beat the average person by replacement here. So, want to have him drive over, or do we want to build a bridge over the glyphs?
He can carry 5 riders. How many named characters do you have with you? You've got since you have all the summer nights, that's about 20 generic NPCs.
We've got Jack of Hearts, Gustav Holder, Lucerne Bridgewater, Leo
Leo,
Rex,
Kurt, and Mario.
And of course, Kenzie. So you've got a force of about 27. That means if you want to use Prowler, Prowler will need to make, let's see. Prowler with Burden back can handle 6 riders, and you've got 27. That means he would need to roll 5 times.
I think at this point the better thing would be to grab Kurt and have him build a bridge over troubled waters.
Yeah.
Kurt does have his own mount as well.
Nonetheless, I think this is logistically annoying compared to a single good roll to just build a path over that people can walk.
Okay.
Gustav can assist. He also has a very good crafts roll.
All right, Kurt, I'm pretty sure yours is better than Gustav's.
Let's see here. What's your total die pool?
Wits plus crafts is 9, unless we're making forgery.
You're better.
Okay. Would you mind assisting Gustav then, Kurt?
Yeah. The 2 successes from Kurt.
All right.
Doesn't Kurt have 5 crafts?
4.
3 successes.
All right. Together, King Halder and Kurt are able to hedge spin a bridge from the glass thorns of the hedge. This is able to bring the group around to the front path, which is untracked.
Wonderful.
Alrighty.
All right. Kenzie.
Kenzie, roll me a chance die, please.
Five.
All right, your group arrives on the front path leading into the Grand Library. This would lead into the foyer. Standing at the front door, playing his fiddle mournfully, is the bespectacled gentleman. That said, I think it's time that we went over to the siege. So,
Hey, Lex.
siege.
Pull up Will's sheet. I expect he's going to be needed sooner than later.
So, siege friends. First things first, I want to determine how long it takes for the Lord of Tales to arrive at your doorstep. Roll me a chance die, please. Okay. Not a bad result.
We are kind of on the edge of nowhere, and it's clear that they didn't notice us setting up here.
The Lord invaded the basement of the Four Seasons at 9. The group of knights and royals and nobles, along with Kit and Elliot, prepare for battle. Time ticks forward. 9:30. 10. 10:30. Shortly before 11 o'clock, Kit sights the first hobgoblins scouring the mountains for any signs of the freehold.
Real quick. Um, so once we had spotted the um, the invasion of the freehold, the Four Seasons, um, Kit got an idea and handed a few items from the hammer space to some of the more crafty changelings. Specifically, the PVC pipes, gunpowder, fuses, and blasting caps. And so for the last few hours, they've been making pipe bombs.
Sure, just to throw.
Yeah.
All right, I believe those are in Hurt Locker, right?
Yep.
Well, make me a crafts roll. Just one.
Okay.
Wits plus crafts or anything similar?
Yeah. I'll
Yes,
do.
Elliot?
Never mind. I was offering to help if you wanted.
Uh, are you available to assist?
Um, Elliot doesn't have anything else to prep right now. He's kind of did all his stuff. That's why he had a spare day.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to assist, sure.
All right, so that's this. Here you go. 4 extra
Okay.
dice.
7 successes.
Nice.
All
I
right.
gotta stack the deck as much as we can.
Considering how much material you have, I'm going to say that with 7 successes, you're able to build a total of 14 pipe bombs during the time.
Cool. Thank you.
Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down.
All right. Sorry
So
about
we've
that.
got people who've just noticed us, or people scouring the mountains looking for us.
Yes. Kit has seen them, and to your knowledge, they have not noticed you yet. The hobgoblins in particular are briar wolves. Ah, you know that they're good with sense, so it's only a matter of time.
Okay. I I radio back from my roost, letting the everyone letting the um, letting them know.
And are you stationed outside or inside the ink moat?
Inside and up.
Okay,
We moved one
so
of the pieces of machinery up and extended it so he'd have a good
have a
sniper's
roost.
roost.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you do next? Are you going to wait for the briar wolves to find you, or are you going to take the initiative?
Do I see anything other than briar wolves?
Not currently.
Sorry, come again?
Not currently.
Okay. I'm going to be laying down in my shooting position, and as soon as I see someone that is unique, let's say, I will start taking the aim action. So right now I'm still waiting aside from letting people know that they're coming.
No need to give them a hint. And one briar wolf isn't going to turn the tide.
Yeah.
All right. Bear with me here.
Honestly, as soon as we saw them, they're going to start smelling the chemicals eventually. It's kind of, we've got a moat full of ink, guys. We are not being that subtle.
Oh boy.
All right. Kit watches the Briar Wolves swarm the mountain. At first, there's only a handful, but from where he's perched, he can slowly see more and more emerging. Eventually, one member of the pack get near the area where the group of you drove up the mountain. Seems to have gotten the scent. It howls. The Briar Wolves, searching the area, stop and converge, all howling together. Momentarily, you can hear the footsteps of dozens, perhaps hundreds of hobgoblins. At the head of the procession is the Lord of Tales himself, alongside the bookbinder Great Expectations, who's carrying a standard with the Lord of Tales sigil on it. They advance following a pack of Briarwolves. The pack stops about 100 yards out from the mines of the Cotton and Company mine. At this point, they can see you clearly. The Lord of Tales looks at you and smiles. He stands to the side and allows the final bookbinder, Great Expectations, to advance forward. Under her mask, you can hear the voice of a familiar voice of Holly Blackberry. Greetings, members of the Lost Vegas Freehold. Our Lord gives you one last chance to turn over his lost title. Do so, and we will happily leave, taking only 10% of the freehold with us for our troubles.
How long has it been since I saw them? Since I first saw them?
For them to climb up the mountain like this would have taken about 5 or 6 minutes.
So you've got a full aim action, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. I'm gonna shoot.
Let me talk.
Okay.
I got a thing. I promise you're gonna have a perfect moment to shoot, but please let me have this one.
Okay.
I'm not good for much else tonight. I walk forward, all smiles. Ah! I knew you'd get here eventually. Not the brightest, but you do eventually catch on. So, I would like to offer you a different deal in exchange for your surrender. In exchange for you not risking losing your title and thus yourself, we will allow you to withdraw all of your forces in possession of those tools you need to maintain your title over the course of the next 24 hours.
Great Expectations scoffs. Our Lord does not bargain with vermin. The Lord of Tales himself simply smiles and says, "Do you think I don't know the provisions of my own contract? I have a new story, safe and sound, in the Grand Library, ready to be enthroned upon my return."
How wonderful. Best of luck with that. Well, I suppose negotiations have ended. A shot rings out.
I shoot Holly's hand that's holding the standard.
All right.
Alright,
You've
so-
got the full aim action. We also have a penalty for called shot like that.
Yes. So a hand is -4.
Yep, and it inflicts the arm rack tilt if it deals any damage.
Okay, so this is okay. So now with the marksmanship perk,
The ballistic armor is a ballistic armor does that remove from the dice pool or remove from damage? I forget.
Defense, when it is not used against firearms, or if you have a thing that says you get to use it against firearm, removes from the pool. Armor, normal armor, removes damage total. Ballistic armor brings lethal damage down to bashing, and that's about it.
Okay. Then there we go. So you've got the full aim action for a bonus and a -4 penalty alongside it.
okay, so it's okay. Just a moment. I'm sorry. I should have calculated this before we started, and I lost where my character sheet is. Okay. Aimed for
It has a maximum of 3 bonus dice, so that is a -1 instead.
No, the with the marksmanship stuff, your character is a competent sniper, able to sit in position and steal her wits. Usually, the maximum bonus dice from the from aiming is 3, though through the crosshairs it is equal to composure plus firearms.
Which for you is
9.
okay. So with the penalty, that makes a -5.
Plus 5.
Yeah, +5. Sorry.
Yeah. So that is going to be
So what, 15?
yes. That's 5 successes, and the rating on this I have here.
Gotcha. I believe that's 4 lethal.
I believe so. Dice. It's a 5.
So
If I'm
that's
reading this.
10 damage before armor.
10 damage before armor.
All right. Bear with me real quick while I do a little math. 10 lethal. The general armor reduces that down to 7 lethal. And the ballistic armor reduces 3 of that to bashing.
So 3 bashing, 4 lethal.
Yep. And inflicts the arm rack tilt.
Yes.
Great Expectations immediately drops the standard onto the ground as the bullet hits her in the shoulder. You can see that it's done some pretty awful damage. It appears to have blown away about a quarter of her shoulder. She immediately grabs it with her other hand, the blood flowing between her fingers. The Lord of Tales scowls as he looks at his standard in the mud, blood dripping on it. He takes a deep breath and shouts, "Attack!"
All right. So we had lots of warning about this, yeah? Like, a bunch of warning?
Yeah.
And I think now would be a good time to go back to the strike force at the library.
Alrighty.
Genzi.
Okay.
Around the time you notice the bespectacled gentleman playing his fiddle at the front door, he looks up and notices the group of you as well. He immediately stops. "Ah, Miss Morgan," he says.
Hello, gentlemen.
He puts away his violin and draws his cane. "I hope you realize where you are. You stand at the threshold of the Grand Library, the realm of our Lord."
Yep, but don't worry, we've all got library cards. And she holds hers up.
He seems momentarily confused. "What are you talking about?"
Well, the purpose of the library, according to the Weird, is to allow the passage of knowledge and the sharing of books. And we all know that the Lord has been threatened by the Weird, that if he doesn't do these things and hold this up to a library standard, he loses his title. So we're here to read. We're here to help.
You see a myriad of expressions pass over the bespectacled gentleman's face. Confusion. Surprise. Anger. Suspicion. He frowns at you, still brandishing his cane. So, you're going to need a presence plus persuasion roll here. Or, of course, anything you can pitch. At a +5, please.
Can I pitch wits plus subterfuge?
Are you lying?
Yes.
For example, those aren't real library cards.
Well, I guess you are not actually here to read. So, okay, I'll allow it.
Would you like some assistance with that? You've got some very talented liars around you.
I'd love some assistance with that.
That's manipulation plus subterfuge, did you say?
I did wits.
Wits plus subterfuge? Alright. Well, that's even better. Here is Jack giving his all. Which turns out to be not all that much, but one die is one die. And Gustav Holder is definitely in and among here. And he's not very good at lying, so he's going to shut up. Sorry, I did my best. Do you want to borrow... Oh, wait, you've got better dice on me than this. Never mind. You're good. Holy shit.
15 successes.
Holy shit.
How did you get roped on this one?
Subterfuge, I have professional training from dealers.
You spent willpower to have it on this roll, yeah?
Yep.
Well, damn.
Lying is my job.
The bespectacled gentleman taps the ground with his cane. Hold on. Just a moment. He calls into the Grand Library. After a few moments of time, one of the blindfolded librarians appears, holding their lantern. This one quenched. The bespectacled gentleman talks to the librarian. You can't quite hear exactly what they're saying, but you can make out a few snippets here and there. Things about the contract, the title, and patrons. The librarian bustles off into the library. The bespectacled gentleman gives you a smile and says, "We're just going to double check here. If what you say is true, then there should be a provision regarding this in the contract."
There is. There categorically is, speaks up Gustav. He smiles, having been prepared for this. Why, if you would take a look over this, to obscure your words is to obscure yourself before the weird. May your pages ever stay bright. The words of the library are the words of the master of the Grand Library. To hide his words from others is to obscure them.
The bespectacled gentleman frowns and says, "I do not believe that is what that provision is stating." "Oh, Kazi, sorry."
Are you prepared to risk everything on that statement?
I see Kazi has accepted my apology. I didn't mean to push him off the desk. That was an accident. I was simply trying to get him to not bite my monitor. Please leave the monitor alone, Kazi. I'll pet you all you want. Just leave the monitor alone. Okay.
Cats, everybody.
After a moment or two, the librarian arrives with what appears to be a copy of the Lord of Tales contract. This one doesn't appear to be any the mystical original that you had, simply being several sheets of parchment bound together into a booklet. The bespectacled gentleman pages through it. Now, if the provision you stated, I personally do not believe refers to allowing patrons into the library. That appears to me very much so to be about, as you mentioned, keeping the pages bright. That refers, I would believe, to the state of the books, the cleanliness and repair of them.
Wouldn't that be covered under to dilute the ink with which you are written as is anathema, as is that which destroys it? Those would be the things talking about damaging the books. Why would they need to repeat themselves?
Alrighty. So, give me presence plus academics, and this will be a opposed roll versus the gentleman's composure plus academics.
I would
Okay,
like to assist.
let's find somebody who's got an academics worth a damn that's with the away team.
I think it might be Lex.
I genuinely think that is a significant risk of what's going on here. Lex may, in fact, be the smartest person on the away team. Oh dear.
Oh noes. That's not good. Alright. Lucerne?
No. Not a single one. Nope, we got it! We got it! It's Jack, everybody!
Okay.
Wits plus academics?
Sure.
Hey, could we get some help from the only person who has any dice to throw at that, Kenzie?
Yes, am I assisting or am I rolling?
I don't think you can beat a 9. Whew.
Let me
Kenzie,
willpower and re-roll that.
alright.
2 successes.
Over the magic 10 means by sheer odds we should have a couple successes. 1 success. Fuck. You know what? This is Jack's willpower, and this one matters. Let's try it again. 3 successes. That's at least a chance. Ha ha!
2.
I'm so glad I sent Jack on the away team. I just didn't want Will to shoot him in the head. I thought there was pretty decent odds of that happening.
Yeah.
The bespectacled gentleman pages through a copy of the contract, frown. He looks up, looks back down, and realizes that he doesn't particularly have an argument. Out of character, as I remember, you actually asked about this when you spoke with the Weird, did you
Yes.
not?
Indeed, this was one of the arguments I made to the Weird itself.
So we know for a fact the Weird would impose this rule.
I believe, at the very least, it didn't reject any of my arguments.
The bespectacled gentleman taps his cane on the ground again and says, begrudgingly, "Fine, but know that I and everyone here have my eyes on you. And the moment you try anything, you are no longer peaceful patrons of the Grand Library, but intruders, to be dealt with as such."
I completely understand. Thank you for allowing us the use of the library, as stated by the Weird.
Gustav turns and smiles to Leo, nodding his head.
The bespectacled gentleman begrudgingly stands aside, allowing your strike team into the Grand Library. Congratulations, you are within the foyer.
Hey guys, can we take a brief moment to talk out of character?
Alright.
First off,
Hydrate, everyone.
hydrate!
Oh, another one.
Thank you, Rose.
Thank you, Rosie. Been a very hydrated evening for us all. Speaking of which, I'm going to have to slip off in a minute or two here. Regardless, I I believe we have determined that at Fairyland it gets a cell phone signal, so I think that one of you just received a text from someone that there's a new story hidden inside the Grand Library. The second thing that's worth noting is, do we want to keep the entire group together for safety, or do we want to split up and divide their ability to watch us?
I think we should split up.
Yep.
Sounds like a plan. Everyone, go explore the library. Let's make some investigation rolls to try and find important things, like other changelings, and maybe a certain book we're not supposed to read, that no one can have read before tonight.
Kenzie walks up to the nearest librarian and asks where the romance section is.
The blindfolded librarian seems flabbergasted that anyone is actually speaking with it. It puts one of its gnarled, leathery claws to its hood and coughs. You can hear the dust of ages echoing in its throat before it finally states in a raspy voice deep as the grave, that would be under in the main library, second floor, on the right.
Thank you.
Jack and Leo walk upstairs, having what appears to be a quiet conversation on the way there. Gustav Holder begins exploring the courtyard, his birds flying all over, looking for things.
So, you have had previously questioned everyone in the Freehold about their memories and put together a decent-ish map, or an approximation of one. What you know. Outside, there are the gardens where the trees, statues, the reading pond, and the nice oak tree by the entrance are. And there's the lawns, the empty manicure grounds that you'd passed over. The library itself is composed of 3 concentric rings. The second ring, the outer one, contains the foyer, which is the entrance hall that you're in now, the kennels, where most of the changelings are quartered, as well as the dungeons. You've been informed by a few escaped changelings that there is a tunnel leading from the dungeons to the very edge of the lawn, mere inches from the hedge. Several people have used it to escape, it seems. Going further inside, the middle ring contains the study, which is the Lord of Tales' personal room, where he spends his time. The royal quarters, his bedroom, the now empty bedroom of Oliver Oakenheart, and a third bedroom that is disused, and the kitchens. The center ring is the dome of the library proper, and is 3 floors high, covered in glass.
Is the glass back?
Of course it is. He's not going to just simply let it stay broken.
Worth asking.
On the 3rd floor of the library is the entrance to the reading tower. High atop that is the reading room, where the 3 of you are confined.
I don't know about you guys, but that seems like where he'd probably put the thing.
Yeah.
All right.
And if you want to take a moment to converse, all the hydrates have likewise got my cup dry. I'm going to refill. I'll be back momentarily.
Yep.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
So here's my thoughts. The person who has the best chance of getting anywhere near the book and reading it is Kenzie. But I'm also willing to bet there's a decent chance that the bespectacled gentleman is going to stick to her like white on rice. So we need to find a way to make there be too many things for him to be paying attention to that he will want to be paying attention to. That's the best thing I can think of.
I have an idea. So, Kinsey, you seem like the kind of person that doesn't know the proper etiquette when it comes to books and libraries. Kinsey, not Lexi. Kinsey, not Lexi. Now,
Yeah, probably.
I'm not saying that you should go around causing massive damage to the books. But maybe going around like you're looking for different books and setting them down in random spots and putting them back upside down or facing the wrong way or
Just on top
leaving
of the
them
shelf.
on top of a shelf, face down open, just enough of a problem that people have to be keeping an eye on you so the the books don't get damaged.
Well, that gets too many people paying attention to Kenzie, though.
Right. And then people with the investigation skills and stuff like that can figure out where the book is.
So, Gustav Holder has a lot of birds and is very good at animal ken. What I was thinking of is we could use him to scout the place. The roof is all made of glass, and we could probably get a look at basically everything through that.
Okay.
If he's able to locate something, well, we've got a bunch of giant, scary bikers in a library. I bet we can cause enough of a ruckus without breaking the terms of our being here that should draw librarian attention.
We have Gus.
We have,
Gus the ghost.
we do have Gus. We have Gus! Gus needs to go check out the reading room. I don't think he qualifies as someone who could read the book and destroy it, but he could confirm its location. And
Yep.
let's be honest, the second we've got our hands on this book, it doesn't matter what else we do here. Obviously, we'd like to do a little bit of damage, maybe chop down a certain oak tree in the front, but, Alright,
Alrighty. I have reloaded.
Ready.
Right. I heard you guys mentioning Gus. He is listed under on
Lucerne.
Lucerne's character sheet.
mm-hmm.
Yep.
Is he able to be in Arcadia? I can't think of a reason why he wouldn't, but is he here?
As a ghost heart, Lucerne brings Gus everywhere. He has the sign Newman, but nothing else.
Okay.
So you likely would have had this discussion with Lucerne before. Uh, so that's more or less what you're going to get from her on that.
So we want Gus to go check out the reading room and report whether he can find an obvious book that doesn't look like it's been read in there.
All right, from her, I'm going to need wits plus investigation.
You got it. That's a 7 on the die. I'm going to keep that willpower in case I need to re-roll this. 'Cause I'm a paranoid wretch. 3.
All right. While you're having Gus go investigate, anyone else who wants to go look for things are going to need to make any rolls that they wish to make and declare what they're looking for.
So Gustav has a large number of birds with him today because that is why he is here. And I would like, because we have a lot of windows and a glass ceiling, I think that we can get a very good view of where things are and around. Maybe find some interesting things that we could be acting on. Just sites of interest, I guess, is what I'm looking for. So would you accept a wits plus animal ken plus us birds to try and get that information?
That makes sense.
That's 4.
All right. So, Gustav's birds are able to report back on what they observe. What they observe is that there's about 10 currently captive changelings bustling about the place. Each one of them has now been assigned 2 librarians who seem to be giving them orders. Being outside the dome, the birds do not understand what the librarians are saying to the captive changelings. But they definitely seem to be spreading themselves out throughout the library. You would assume that they are keeping watch.
All right.
Some of them specifically appear to not be keeping watch on you, but to be keeping watch on some of the rare pieces on the 3rd floor collection. They can be differentiated by not being on shelves, but on small pedestals within display cases.
Well then, hey, Leo.
Yeah.
So I, Jack, think that we should go take a look at some of those rare pieces up there. You know, the place where they also kept your wife for a while. I'm curious what they have up there in this library that we are visiting.
Okay.
We 2 extremely threatening people in an extremely valuable and important place certainly will not draw a lot of attention.
You know, I have a fun idea about this.
Gus reports back to Lucerne. The reading room appears to have been outfitted for a ceremony. There is all the furniture has been moved out. And in its place, there is one table in the center of the reading room with one of those display cases for placing a book to open and read. That is currently empty. There's not much else currently there but the decorations on the walls.
All right. Well, I'm out of ideas. Kenzie? Let's see.
I wonder if he has it on him.
That would be really dangerous. So let's see. We've gotten a look at the top floor, and it seems really like it would be very dumb to just have it out on the main floors. And if they will, Jack and Leo can discover it and try and read it. But there are two places that we wouldn't be able to see inside that seem possible. All three. The Lord of Tales bedroom, the bedroom that used to belong to Oliver Oakhart, and a third one that hasn't been used. Those might be places where you might hide something that important. But I don't know. I don't think he'd throw it in the dungeon or the kennels. And we can see most of the other places.
There's also his study.
There's the study as well. You're right.
Okay. So, who is watching me?
Great. Give me a... Let's see. Composure... plus... stealth check. Or if you pitch me a roll of your own if you prefer.
Could I pitch manipulation plus stealth? For manipulating the situation this entire time?
Makes sense to me.
Two successes.
Hanging back in the foyer, you can see the light shine off the bespectacled gentleman's glasses. He appears to be watching you personally.
Okay. I wave at him.
All right, I think that will is a good transition over to the siege group. So, the army of hobgoblins is attacking. They are on the currently on the other side of the ink moat. What are you guys going to do?
All right, so I think it was fair to say that we had a little bit of warning before these guys got here. You know, with the whole army approaching over the horizon thing.
Oh, yes.
So, would it be fair to say that I was able to get my basic buff up, my primal glory?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, in which case, instead on this turn, I'm going to be using Prince of Ivy, which is a brand new contract I picked up the other day for just this purpose. So, Prince of Ivy is a spring contract, and costs 2 glamour and 1 willpower, which I'm expending now. I will be summoning vines from the ground to grapple enemy targets, whose strength will be based on the results of this presence plus expression plus mantle roll. Spending willpower to make it rote. And let's see how this goes. That's 10 successes, which means it's an exceptional success.
All right. Does the Prince of Ivy contract state how many you can grapple at once?
Vines shoot out of the ground where the changeling spat, and all nearby plants grow similar tangles at an impossible rate to ensnare his enemies. For the contract's duration, the character may make one new grapple attempt per turn on any target within 3 yards meters of a plant instead of moving, in addition to his instant action. He may sacrifice his action to make a second new grapple attempt, and his defense ends until his next turn on a third. His contested grapple rolls for ongoing grapples are reflexive. The plants use a dice pool of 3 plus successes rolled to invoke this contract, so 13.
13 is the dice pool, or 13 is the number of folks you can grapple?
13 is the dice pool. The number of folks I can grapple is how many people haven't broken out, plus 2 per turn.
And where did you set up your plants?
They are all on the inside and outside edges of the moat. Just a bunch of random little plants I could set up. Would have cost me absolutely nothing.
All right. You can make 3 grapple rolls a turn, is what I heard, right?
Yep, depending on how many things I'm willing to give up. In which case, I'm going to be doing just my instant action this turn, because I've already used my action to cast this. All right. So that is a 13. Who do we like least here? Do we want to just finish off What's Her Bitch? Great Expectations?
I want her to survive.
Yeah, but this will get her out of combat is what I mean.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. A vine snakes out and grapples Great Expectations. 5 successes.
All right. And strength plus brawl. All right.
All right. Since I get to make a grapple action immediately because that was a exceptional success, they take hold, which means both the vine and Great Expectations lose their defense and are immobilized.
All righty. Kit.
Well, I can't. I don't really have a way to incapacitate them, unfortunately. So, let's be a bit brazen here. So, I am going to... Is the Lord of Tales on his horse?
He is on foot.
He is on foot. What is he wearing?
His usual robes. His robes over, like his scholarly robes over the normal outfit that he wears. The like 17th century ruffed shirt, collar, velvet pants, etc.
Okay.
Boots.
Because I find this amusing and I want to anger him. I'm going to see if I can shoot the so he, with his robes, does he have like a clasp or something like that that's holding his robes on him, like closed or anything like that, or is it?
They would have a book-shaped clasp at holding the robes together at his midriff. Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna shoot that off.
Alrighty.
So
That seems like
This
a
is
small enough target to map to like aiming at his heart.
yeah. Which I believe, if I have my, it'd be -3. Or if you don't like that, you could do -5 for eye, equivalent to an eye in size.
Let's go with -5.
Okay. Alright, then come up here.
I do love that our sniper gets his first chance to aim at the most dangerous thing we've ever gotten. He's pissing him off and shooting his clothes off of him.
Mhm.
It's very us, honestly.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use precision shot to eat 4 points of damage to mitigate the penalty. Or yeah. Yeah. So, or the 5 points rather. So this is just going to be a straight shot here. So, yeah. Okay. So let's go to a dice pool of Dex plus 10. Okay, I'm gonna spend a willpower to reroll that. Okay. So two damage to shoot that off.
I'd say that would do that. Bear with me just a moment.
Mhm. And
Alrighty. So, Kit shoots the clasp, popping it off and dropping the Lord of Tales robes to the ground.
okay. I spend the glamour to activate the my rifle as a token, and then I dip into the mirror and pop out on another roost that I've set up.
All right. Let's see. Bear with me just a moment here. All right, the machinery that you were roosting on, that's within the moat, correct?
Yes.
All right. So, the Lord of Tales frowns. You can tell he is absolutely not happy with what's happening here. Uh, he snaps a finger, and you can feel the weird twist around him as he invokes a contract.
Okay.
All right. 7-league leap. So that's no dice pool for the contract, but to the actual leap is a strength plus athletics.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. According to 7 League Leap, he can clear a jumping trajectory of 10 meters per dot of weird he possesses. So, he easily bounds over the moat, taking up residence atop the machine that you just vacated, smiling down at the group below. He shouts out to his army, "Cross the moat. If you can't find a way across, push the ones in front of you inside. Use their bodies as a bridge to cross."
And just to make sure, these are his hobgoblins. These aren't just random other hobgoblins. These are like librarians and stuff, right?
Yeah, among others, yeah. There's librarians, there's direwolves, and there's a hodgepodge of random hobgoblins as well.
Speaking of random hobgoblins,
The mercenaries join the fray.
you mentioned a number.
Blowing spore horn.
You
Was that?
mentioned. Sorry.
I was just making a joke. We're blowing Lump's warhorn and summoning the ogres.
Yup. So, you mentioned last time we were here there are a number of outbuildings that were still intact that we did absolutely nothing about. However, they still have doors.
Yes.
And waiting on the other side, and I don't mean the side that's inside the building, of those doors are all of those mercenaries we hired. Since they're willing to cross the moat now, let's help them and get a nice little squeeze on both sides.
Alright, so is your moat beyond the outbuildings or the outbuildings inside it?
The outbuildings are outside the moat. The idea would be that we now have forces on both sides of the moat here, squeezing his forces that are trying to cross.
Alrighty.
I don't want them to have any good choices.
So, the mercenaries come out swinging. Most of the Lord of Tales hobgoblins are not particularly combat-oriented, being as that they serve in a library. However, having hundreds of them, that is in and of itself not a problem for him. That does mean, however, that they are not prepared for several ogres to come charging out of hedge gates, swinging log clubs made out of whole logs. The time is 11:10.
All right. I believe that other than the knights who are on our side, I believe everyone has acted.
All right. So you guys are you guys going to wait for them to cross the moat to do anything further?
I think we're shooting them. I do
Yeah.
think we are shooting them. There's no reason not to.
All right.
There is a
Then,
finite number of them.
That's true. So let me roll then. Between the ogres coming through the hedge gates and the hail of bullets from the 100 freehold knights that remain, several of the hobgoblins are torn asunder. more hobgoblins pour into the vacancies made, following the Lord of Tales' order and pushing the corpses of any who died into the moat.
I think it would be reasonable to say that even those who are crossing over top of bodies are going to be coated in ink here, yeah?
Give me a chance die roll. They haven't got enough bodies in yet to fill up the moat entirely. So,
Well, especially those who aren't crossing over like a pile of bodies. They're going to have to wade through the moat. 3.
the Lord of Tales himself has evaded it with the 7-league leap, but many of the hobgoblins are in fact quite dirty, although the majority of the army isn't attempting to cross yet. You notice that only a handful of the larger, more combative hobgoblins have made the crossing. Most of them are looking for ways to bridge it. The most common being following the Lord of Tales' order and pushing any dead bodies or unfortunately weaker hobgoblins into the moat.
Duly noted. Always glad to have them killing people for us.
That said, I'm going to make a roll to see how long it takes them to bridge the moat. Of course, I understand that you guys will be continuing to attack during that time, and we will be making some rolls for that.
Naturally, I am... Sorry, what?
I'm having trouble locating one of Will's contracts.
Which one?
The dragon nose.
The dragon nose, I believe that's in either Kith and Kin or
Okash and Thorn.
or Okash and Thorn. Give me a couple of seconds, and I'll see if I can't find it for you.
I'm checking Kith and Kin right now. It does not appear to be in Kith and Kin.
Right. The dragon. No.
Okay. What other shenanigans can they get up to?
Bear with me.
Oh, it's a winter contract, looks like. Just a second.
Oh,
The
yeah.
dragon knows. Common. The changeling senses her target's regrets at a glance, manipulating them to her own ends. She picks up an item discarded by the target and puts it briefly to her tongue or touches the target and tastes her fingertips. It's a opposed roll, wits plus empathy plus mantle versus composure plus weird. And on a success, the changeling can taste the target's sorrow and learns his deepest regret and any conditions or tilts connected to it. This regret can even be subconscious or forgotten. The changeling may replace the subject of the regret with one of her choice. The target's sorrow for the original loss, along with any conditions or tilts it engendered, turns towards the new subject for the scene. And on an exceptional success, gain a 2 dice bonus any social roll you make to shatter the target's hopes for the contract's duration.
You are muted.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, that was not as helpful as I thought.
All right.
I'm going to make that roll to see how long it takes them to bridge it. With their numbers, they will bridge it, so it's simply a matter of time.
All right.
All right. It takes 20 minutes. but the army is eventually able to fill the moat with the dead bodies of hobgoblins. Only about a third of the army is stained with ink. The rest are able to walk across the crush of corpses normally. During that time, I believe you will have remained attacking.
Mm-hmm.
Just give me. Let me make a roll for the NPCs, and you guys, Kit and Elliot, and any other important NPCs, tell me what you were doing during that time.
So, Will, what were you up to, or would you like a couple minutes to think about that?
Well, you know what? Will is throwing a pipe bomb at the assembled bridge as it starts to fill up, trying to spread the bodies so that it takes longer for them to bridge that gap.
So that's what he's been up to. I've actually got a really fun joke for Clara, because this is the first time I've seen Clara's worksheet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clara's got enchanting performance and athletics with dancing at 5. Do you want us to distract a little bit, or do we want Clara waiting at the edge of the first bridge to start punching people back in? Which is funnier to you guys?
I think I like her punching people back in.
All right,
Yeah.
so Clara's just doing a bit of the old beating people in the face. Would you like a Dex plus Brawl on that one, Kenny?
Yes, please.
5 successes.
That's pretty good, yeah. All right, anyone else?
Give me just a moment here.
The Grimalkin assault force, knowing where the enemies are trying to cross, are throwing paint balloons at them. Trying to get anybody who's clean.
All right.
A couple make half-hearted attempts to hit the impossibly high-to-reach Lord of Tales, but I don't think they've got fucking arms for that.
Yeah. That'll be interesting. Let's do that. I reach into the hammer space, pull out the cement remover, and toss it through the mirror at the Lord of Tales.
Cement remover?
Yes. It's a very strong acid.
Let's see.
I'm going to check Hurt Locker and see if they've got acid in there.
Sorry.
Could I, if we can't find that, could I recommend instead you throw something with the dip in it? Because I know we would have set that up for you.
Okay.
Because I think that would just apply to us trying to effectively use his contract against him.
Yeah.
Standard frailty thing.
It's essentially this. I'm going for the same effect because it.
Mm-hmm. Trying to remove words from him.
All
Yes.
right. That is a thrown weapon.
Yes.
I believe that's dexterity plus athletics.
Okay. Okay. So it's me. One success.
Right. The balloon of the solvent that you've mixed up to remove ink uh, goes through the mirror and splashes onto the Lord of Tales' leg. During this time frame, the Lord has simply been sitting atop the excavator, watching intently as his army makes their way across the field. However, when this hits him, uh, his reaction is entirely outsized. His face goes pale, and he has his mouth open in horror. You can see black fluid dripping off him, with a patch of his pants looks like not it has completely melted. You can see some smudgy black and white material where you would normally think you would see bare skin or maybe bloody muscle. So, the Lord of Tales. It's his turn.
I think I may have drawn some aggro with that one.
I thought you knew that that was inevitably what you were doing by attacking him.
That's what I was trying to do.
We can't make him try and damage his books unless he tries to hurt us.
Right. The Lord of Tales puts his hands onto the excavator he's sitting on. Fine. If you wish to make this personal, I can make this personal. Glowing letters flow out from his fingers and cover the excavator. He casts the contract, Dance of the Toys. Let's see. Manipulation plus crafts plus weird.
Hey, Tibbs.
Yeah.
How good do you feel about shooting metal that's been rusting for nearly a century?
Could be fun.
Think you could do it? I'll try and
Okay.
pin it down for you.
Four successes, so it is not a exceptional success.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's good.
On a success, the caster makes a mechanical device dance to her whims. She strikes it to inspire obedience through terror, or caresses it to engender loyalty born from love. Either way, the device comes alive to follow a single, simple command. A door closes and remains closed, a car drives away, or a gun shoots until it runs out of bullets. Anyone attempting to change its action must roll Strength plus Resolve and achieve more successes than the Changeling did to invoke the contract. Devices cannot move outside of their normal range of motion. If a device's natural movement would inflict damage, like a car running someone over, it uses the successes rolled on this contract as a dice pool for that attack. This Changeling to control any device she can see within 10 times weird yards or meters. All right. The excavator rumbles to life and begins slowly moving forward.
All right. May I take my turn?
Yes.
All right. I give up my instant action to grapple the excavator.
All right, roll.
Five successes.
The vines successfully entangle the excavator.
Since I got an exceptional success, I'll be taking the hold action, immobilizing the excavator.
All right.
I will be giving up my action to whatchamacallit, take another grapple check.
Great, and all the NPCs and their attacks. So, between the mercenaries, the knights, and the Lord of Tales army actually killing themselves in order to create the bridge, and of course the efforts of Will, etc., the Lord of Tales army has been reduced by a third. There appears to only be about 200 hobgoblins left standing.
And with the efforts of the Grimalkins, are many left clean?
Right, let's see. No, those who manage to get their way over the bridge in order to avoid the ink moat have gotten hit with the paintballs, balloons, whatever you gave them.
Mm-hmm.
So, unfortunately for them, no hob on the field is clean.
Excellent. Now, the Lord of Tales has to order them to attack us and risk covering all of these lovely pages of his books with paint. Or ink, or whatever else happens to be on them. Probably a lot of blood at this point, too. Fair bit of blood, I think, at this point.
Alrighty. That being said, speaking of the Lord of Tales having to make that sort of order, time to roll to overcome a taboo for him. Bear with me a moment. It's been a long time since I've had to do this.
Of course. So, basically, what we've been planning on is making it so that the Lord of Tales continuously has to violate his contract over and over the course of the evening. Violating his contract does aggravated damage to him, and depending on how you interpret what the what the word was saying, doing it too much might mean that it doesn't matter how hard he tries, he doesn't get to keep his contract after tonight. So, fingers crossed on that, Mark. Regardless, I love a little bit of aggravated damage.
So, regardless, looks like the taboo doesn't require him to roll anything to overcome it, but he does have to spend a point of willpower. this is a minor taboo. So he has spent 2 willpower this evening. Overtaken with disgust as he notices what the Grimalkins and the knights are using for armor. He holds a hand up, staying the wrath of his army. He takes a deep, steady breath and says, "They are vandals, destroying books, cowards. Do not let it sway you. Attack!"
Hey man, whatever we have to do to burn his resources, everything we can do.
All right, I think it's about time to jump back over to Arcadia.
Woo!
So, Kenzie, what are you guys up to over in the Grand Library?
Well, currently, I'm trying to get the attention of everyone that I can to have them all watching me.
So you are being big and loud, is what I'm hearing.
I mean, not like screaming or anything, but I'm definitely being a careless library patron.
All right, I think that would be a... let's see. Manipulation plus subterfuge roll, please. And while you're doing that, what are you having your squad do?
Four successes, and while I'm doing that, my squad is trying to get out of the view of their own minders to begin tearing pages or dog-earing them or rubbing some dip on the pages.
All right. Let's see.
Is anyone here with me particularly good at investigation?
Yes, you've got several good options for that.
Would you, if you get out of sight, can you check out the study?
Yes, Lucerne is very good at stealth and isn't somebody that would immediately ping on everyone's radar, so I'm going to see if Lucerne can lose their librarian.
Perfect.
All right. Give me dexterity plus stealth for that, then.
Would you accept hiding places as a boost here?
Yes.
Two successes.
All right, and are you having the knights who are going about actually damage books? You mentioned stuff from putting the dip on them to just folding pages.
I mean, folding pages is damaging them. Just like breaking the spine is.
I think in this case it would need to be something that would damage the amount of knowledge within the library for it to work towards harming his contract. So it would have to be something more along the lines of the dip, but that is also something that would absolutely aggro if they got spotted.
Yep.
So are we trying to piss off the librarians, or are we trying to start a fight with the librarians?
I don't know. What do you think?
Well, Kenzie rolled 4 successes to keep people's attention. That means she's being watched by at least the bespectacled gentleman, and likely more.
Okay. So, I think I'm going to repeat what Kenzie's trying to do with Leo and Jack, who are currently in the top collection near a bunch of valuable things and are two extremely notorious people. And I want them to be being very loudly notorious. Is that acceptable?
Yep. Make the manipulation plus subterfuge rolls, and then tell you what. Since you're keeping people off, I'm going to say that we're going to do a opposed roll for damaging the books without being spotted.
Mm-hmm.
And I will assign penalties to the Lord of Tales's group appropriately. So make the rolls for keeping people's attentions. We're almost done here.
Okay.
So, okay, so so Leo and Jack are upstairs with the expensive books, yes?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I hate to ask, but, like, is there anything obviously what we're looking for there? I assume it's just a bunch of, very specific nice books there and maybe a couple of changelings in horrible positions.
If you're looking for what would appear to be a story no one has ever seen, no. Most of it are books on full display.
So, Tibbs, I think Leo making a presence plus intimidation roll to make people think of him as a threat and thus someone to be watched would be a good idea.
Yeah, I was
Right.
actually thinking overpowering dread. The contract?
I don't know what that does, but it sounds cool.
Presence plus intimidation plus weird versus composure plus weird. Success to chain the channels, the changing channels, channeling her quiet destruction into her target. She curses him with the frightened condition. Exceptional success. The next time the changeling sees the target after the contract ends, invoke it again against him again with no glamour.
Alrighty.
And duration. So yeah.
So try and scare a librarian. Well,
Mhm.
I have Jack try and convince them of how bad an idea it is to stop looking at him.
Right, make your rolls.
Ready?
4 successes.
All right. Let's see here. Yeah, he's gonna play up his bestial appearance a bit on this to get so he can basically deliberately play into the big angry lion specialty that he has.
Uh-huh.
He's re-rolling that.
That's what willpower's for.
Yeah. There we go. 6 successes versus their weird plus what did I say? Composure?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, composure plus weird.
Considering the amount of noise you're making, I'm not going to require a roll at all. The librarians and the bespectacled gentleman are watching the major threats. While they're doing this, Lucerne is able to slip away and hide in one of the antechambers just off the library. And the summer nights begin a quiet campaign of book destruction.
Sorry to everyone who has like good taste and feelings about books, but to be fair, this is literally one of the ways we can avoid dying tonight. So, mea culpa. We don't like it any more than you do.
Dips and acids are applied to the books as efficiently as possible. Within the time frame that your group has been within Arcadia, a few shelves have been lost. Roughly about 60 or 70 books.
All right.
So, Lucerne was going to look for stuff.
Yes.
Where is Lucerne looking?
Lucerne is going to check the bedrooms now. I think they're going to send Gus into the Lord of Tales' bedroom, and she's going to check Oliver Oakhart's. Does that check out with everybody else? That makes sense to you guys?
Yeah.
Would you accept a investigation plus wits on that one, or dexterity?
Investigation plus wits makes sense to me.
All right.
Well, wits plus investigation, you know how it goes.
Yeah, sorry, I said it the wrong way. I was trying to think of what stat I wanted to use. Anyways, come on. A success is, as they say, a success.
Congrats. Oliver Oakenhart's bedroom is covered in a layer of dust. There are spider webs being built by industrious goblin insects. It doesn't look like anything has set foot in here recently. Gus returns from the Lord of Tales' bedroom, simply writing no in the dust.
I think it's in the study, guys.
Yep.
So, at this point, we have two choices. We can try and steal it stealthily, or we can do it what I think would be the most Kenzie way possible.
I mean, I like the most Kenzie way possible.
So, Kenzie, if you were absolutely certain you knew where it was, I can make another investigation roll to try and find it for you if you want to be absolutely certain, but I think we've narrowed down all of the reasonable places it could be. And the odds of it being in the empty bedroom feel really unlike this guy. What would you do?
I would stealth and go get it. And then start reading it.
All right, looks like you need to evade the people who are staring at you then.
All right, so are you sending Lucerne to do this, or are you going yourself personally?
I think we should have Lucerne stealth and start reading.
Okay.
All right. Dexterity plus stealth, please.
All right, hiding place is still acceptable?
Yes.
Exceptional success. 5 successes.
Lucerne flits from place to place, shadow to shadow, within the hallways of the Grand Library. Gargoyles haunt the rafters, and librarians occasionally float down a hallway. But with Gus's guidance and her own abilities, she's able to make her way into the Lord of Tales study. This must be a picture out of some Victorian mansion. There is a massive cherry desk a fireplace with a mantel, several hunting trophies here and there, uh, what appears to be the head of a sphinx, the head of a dragon, and dozens of stuffed changeling heads of various kiths. There is a pool table in one corner, a old-fashioned massive globe on the other side of the room, and in a corner next to between two suits of armor is a massive safe.
All right. So, is Gus able to move objects? I would know this as Lucerne.
Gus only has the sign Newman.
So he can't touch anything.
No, he can only write messages.
All right. I ask Gus to look on the inside and tell me what numbers have... wait, this isn't going to work like a real safe. What am I thinking? We're in the fucking hedge. What am I doing? We're in Arcadia. This is not an actual mechanical safe.
That would be correct.
Kenzie. I can see two options.
Okay.
One, we try and break into the safe here by picking the lock, which I can make a spirited effort at, but I am not anywhere talented enough at to make a good shot at it. Option two, I alert you, and we start going loud, try and steal the safe with some of the very strong boys we've got here, run out of here, and you try and pick the safe as you're being carried out on the backs of, well, a bunch of big, scary bikers.
How big is the safe, Kenny?
About 6 feet tall.
We do have 20 bikers and Leo.
Fuck it, let's go loud.
You get a text message from Lucerne, as does everyone else exploring the library.
I check it. Notice that it's from Lucerne. Figure out what she's saying. And then I ask the bespectacled gentleman if there's a restroom.
He does direct you to a bathroom.
The NPCs, all by Brownian motion, start making their way to the first floor, which is, I believe, where the study remains.
Yes. The library only has multiple floors on the library proper. Everything else is on the first floor.
Is the bathroom anywhere in the direction of the study?
Sure, it makes sense to me.
Excellent. So I make my way over to the bathroom, slip inside, and activate my Cloak of Night.
Alrighty.
Then I activate my Seeming Blessing and turn into a shadow and slip underneath the door and down the hallway.
So make me dexterity plus stealth at a +5.
Five successes.
Mackenzie is able to get to the study without being detected.
Should I try to pick it while I have time?
If you can get it open, that's even better.
That'd be
Yeah.
dexterity plus larceny.
Okay, let me do that real quick.
Considering that what you're trying to steal, that'll be a -5 penalty, please. And if you'd like Lucerne's help, Lucerne can help roll as well.
Yes, Lucerne's help would be lovely.
You got it. Okay. So Lucerne has no dots in larceny, but they do have a decent bit of dexterity, so they'll be doing their best to help. All right. Here you go. 4 successes.
All right.
Holy shit!
Kenzie is able to pop open the safe. There is a small rectangular package in the safe, wrapped in gold embroidered linen with the Lord of Tales sigil on it.
Okay. Please, anyone who's listening, please forgive me. I wrench open the book so that its binding breaks. And then I flip to the last 3 pages and start reading.
Hey, you know what you should do?
Yeah?
You should call Elliot.
Okay.
And
I
read.
will start reading it out loud.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm calling Elliot right now.
Elliot has been waiting for this and pops his phone open, clicking the speaker button immediately, raising it above his head. Hi there!
So Kenzie starts reading the last 3 pages of the book.
All right, this book that was sealed away appears to have been a freshly written manuscript. You find yourself reading the end of what appears to be a story about a good king putting down a rebellion. The scene that you're reading is a scene of the rebellion leader's execution. Elliot raises his hand to let the voice be heard. The Lord of Tales and the Hobgoblins, fighting as they are, I can all hear, but it seem very confused at what's happening.
You know, I thought nobody was supposed to be able to read that book before you got it in there. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of the ending.
So make me a presence or manipulation plus persuasion roll. So what you're trying to do is tell him what you're doing.
Yep.
Well, let's make it expression instead of persuasion.
Thank you.
Can I assist?
Yeah, because you're actually reading it, so that makes sense.
Four successes.
Alright, if there was ever a time I'm going to invoke fucking rote, here it is.
I will say that a further 15 minutes have passed while all this hullabaloo has been happening. It is 11:45.
He does not have time to do anything else. Gods be praised. 11 successes.
comprehension dawns across the Fae's face when he realizes what you're talking about. My manuscript, the one to be enshrined.
You've already lost.
A chess piece flies through the mirror and hits him in the chest. It's the White King.
The Lord of Tales appears. He's shocked. He doesn't seem to even notice the impact. But you've read my contract. I know you have.
Yes. By the way, did you fix all those books that were getting damaged this evening? You replaced them? Do you know which ones?
The look of horror on his face, if anything, gets deeper. He takes a moment, looking down at his hand as if trying to think of something, and then looks up again. I can feel them. You're in the library. You've got people destroying books.
Well, you came to our house. We went to yours.
But this isn't fair.
This isn't fair. Kenzie, you're muted.
To quote another great story, life isn't fair, Highness.
Anyone who says otherwise is selling something.
But suddenly he focuses. You said you have a book here, a manuscript that hasn't been read.
Oh, see, those were the terms of surrender.
The Lord leaps down to attack. He's going to invoke Elemental Warrior, attacking Elliot.
Alright, I have armor 7-9 as of this moment, and a defense of 4 if he's not using a gun. So take 4 off whatever attack roll he's making.
Great.
Okay, guys, here's the goal. I need to not die in this solitary action. That's all we need out of this.
Where are you?
I'm in the middle of the battlefield. I have drawn so much attention to myself. You know where I am.
Will is nearby, correct?
Oh, definitely. If any of you guys can think of a reason why I'm not being killed in this moment other than my armor and my defenses, I'd love to hear it, but I had literally set up to not die in this moment as best I could.
Will also activates Elemental Thingy-majigger.
Elemental weapon. Presence plus survival plus weird. Let's just make them opposed rolls.
Jeff. Kit had time to set up mirrors.
Mm-hmm.
Can you say that roll again?
Presence plus survival plus weird.
I have
4 successes for Will.
Will's elemental element, I believe, is ice,
Mm-hmm.
stone. So what does he invoke for elemental weapon? What does he create?
I was invoking elemental warrior.
Oh, elemental warrior. Sorry. Well, our Lord of Tales invokes elemental weapon. Creating a rapier of paper. He's able to. What is Will doing with elemental warrior?
Turning himself into a statue in between Elliot and Lord of Tales. A moving statue, albeit.
The Lord, he tries to block the Lord of Tales. He does so successfully. The Lord's paper rapier doesn't hit Elliot, but it does take off the statue's leg.
Sorry, Will.
We'll sort it out in post.
Elliot?
All right. There's one thing that Elliot is extremely good at, and that's not being where people want him to be.
Can I do something real quick? Make this a lot more fun for you, Jeff.
Yeah?
I activate my speed suite, and then for each contract I invoke, I also invoke my autumn mantle to give those bonuses to Elliot.
Oh.
I'm out of glamour now.
So, for those of you not playing at home, one of the big jokes that Kit has is that he has taken every single way there is to increase one's speed. Autumn, at their maximum mantle, is able to spend an additional glamour to apply any effect that was applied to themselves to one other person. So by effectively spending an additional glamour per effect he wished to do, he has just turned me into a speed demon. So, yeah. Question. One of those was the ones where you get to add a movement mode, right?
Yes.
Could I have a climb speed, please?
Yes, you can.
All right. I am heading towards your sniper roost right now at speed.
All right. When Elliot bursts into the speed a run with the help of the weird, much faster than he should be able to, the Lord of Tales gives chase.
All right.
Give me the manuscript.
Surrender!
Never! My cause is just.
Then I will disappear, and it and the manuscript will burn.
11:50. All right. The two of you come within. Where's your sniper roost at, Kit? The two of you come within view of it.
Okay. So I had jaunted. I had jaunted after my first shot, and I hadn't moved. And I believe we said that we'd only set up the one within the moat. So this one's going to be outside of that.
So maybe on one of the outbuildings?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'm making my way to you at speed. My intentions are for you to go through a mirror and get us literally as far away from here as you have the ability to do so.
Okay.
I don't have a better idea than that.
Give me just a second. I'm calculating speeds here.
Live by my hand or die I forever because you would not surrender. You'll never catch me.
All right. Kit,
Does anyone have an
You are
intimidation
going-
roll I can borrow? I haven't borrowed one
I
yet.
do.
Hi,
Alright.
presence plus intimidate. What's your intimidate? 3?
Can I assist?
I mean, you are currently loudly hearable. And I can't think of anyone who'd be better at taunting in this moment than Kenzie.
I mean, yeah, you are there, within on the other side of the phone.
What is the dice pool what's the additional dice pool that I get for the spring court thing? Because I got my spring court mantle up to 5.
Plus
Or
mantle.
goodwill.
Plus,
Okay, so plus 3.
All right. That's a +1, I believe.
1 success, I'm sorry.
listen, any help is help. 3 successes.
So, they Kit was opening a mirror, right? The Lord of Tales narrows his eyes and says, "I will never surrender to changelings. Give me the book, and I leave you in peace. That's my last offer, but only for tonight."
A year and a day!
No.
Then it was nice knowing you.
All right. So, Kit, you opened the mirror.
Yes.
That's what you did.
Yeah. Let me roll the
The location we're going to doesn't matter. It is simply the furthest mirror that it has ever touched in his life from this location. Or
Well-
wherever he thinks is way funnier than that joke.
Okay, 3 successes.
I would like to remind you of one mirror that you have touched, without a doubt.
Hmm.
The one in the reading room.
I have a plan.
Okay.
Okay. So me and Elliot go through the mirror.
All
We
right.
do not close it behind us.
What? What?
Give me a minute. Let me cook.
I trust you. I'm scared, but I trust you. Okay, Well,
Yep.
We went through the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
is he following us?
To where?
For as soon as he follows us through, we dip we fall out. We jump back into another mirror and shut him in there.
All right. So you had a mirror set up in front of another mirror.
Bas- Basically, there's space in between that we have to travel within
There's a.
between mirrors. And as a
Mirror
beast,
wall. Yeah.
yeah. So as a beast, I can just shut that off. I can shut the exits at will instead of them having a time frame. So as soon as me and Elliot are out, I close those doors and lock the Lord of Tales in there.
All right. So, where are you coming out then?
Four Seasons.
Right. So you come out of a mirror in one of the in the bedroom of the Four Seasons that you'd stayed in previously.
Yeah.
You shut the door just as you make it across. From this side of the mirror, you can see the Lord of Tales lunge at it, but the glass has once again solidified.
I reach into my bag.
All right. What do you do?
I pull out a folded manuscript, cracking it open, turning to the first page.
And as he does that, I take the butt of my rifle and smash the glass.
All right. This bit of shenanigans took more time.
Well, that was intended. We were stalling him out as hard as we could.
So
Mhm.
you can see uh, from the bedroom of the hotel room you're in a clock. It's one of the digital times. 11:59, 50, then 10 seconds till New Year. The seconds tick down. And from across the phone, what you can hear from the Grand Library is an extremely loud scream. In the sky above the Grand Library, uh, uh, the clouds part and night dawns as day. The words of the contract are visible in the sky through the library dome. The clause of the contract requiring renewal glows a deep blood red. The words of the contract fade away except for that red clause. That writing stays in the sky as the Grand Library begins to shake and crumble. Make a dexterity plus athletics roll to escape, please.
I would like to, as what's his name, Gustav Holder, make a animal ken plus wits roll as well.
Sure. What for?
You mentioned that all of the changelings that were kept here were taken up to the third floor where they were visible through the roof that I located with my birds and never said the birds stopped following them around.
Yeah.
I would like to rescue them from the rubble.
All right. Make a roll.
As I run.
No.
All right, Kinsey, what were you saying? Because that is an exceptional success. I will narrate that momentarily.
As I run, I activate Solstice Revelation to. I pay my glamour to flood the area around me with light. Any characters currently hidden or disguised through mundane means must succeed on a manipulation plus weird roll with a dice penalty to the changeling's mantle or lose their obfuscation. And the mask weakens, and anyone can make a perception roll with wits and composure to see through it. Basically, I'm looking for any and all changelings that have been transfigured. And I yell at the top of my lungs, "We were never here to help!"
The birds are able to help help the captive changelings escape. The librarians evaporate into nothing as the library crumbles. The Solstice Revelation removes the transfiguration from a handful of changelings as various decorations and furniture. And Kenzie, you made your escape roll, right?
Yes, I did. I got 3 successes.
And together, the group of you are able to get outside with the changelings who were held captive. At the door, right after you guys leave, and the library begins to crumble, you can see the very land itself turn to splotchy black and begin to fade into the void. Out from behind a tree steps the bespectacled gentleman, cane drawn. I knew you were here for some nefarious purpose. Why would you do such a thing?
Give you back your life. To give us all back our lives. You were a god. And he has you as a plaything.
He puts down his cane. Were is a powerful word.
You could be
But
again. This is Vegas.
regardless, he puts his hands to his chest. I can no longer feel the will of our master. It appears his contract has been rendered void. The title of the Lord of Tales no longer exists. It is likely his other titles have been dispersed.
Would you consider helping me chop down this tree?
Behind you, the library continues to crumble into the Arcadian void. The gentleman shrugs and says, "I do not think this region of Arcadia will remain stable much longer. I do not think you have time for that. Especially not if you want to avoid the next tenant showing up to create their realm."
You know what? That's a really good idea. So Kenzie just spits at the tree, flips it off, and starts running again.
The group of you run away. The bespectacled gentleman takes another longing look at the void. He opens his shirt, where you can see the cavity where the Fey title that animates him is placed. Without the Lord of Tales influence, this title is inert. He grabs the mantle and tosses it out of his chest. He drops to the ground screaming before seeming to disappear until you notice a shape in the pile of clothes left behind. A bird pokes its head out. An eagle, it looks like. It gives a cry and flies out of the crumpled heap of clothes and into the skies of Arcadia. As the group of you make it into the hedge and out of the grounds, the last vestiges of the Grand Library fade away into nothingness. Only the dark void of space can be seen, where there once was a place. With the breaking of the title, the Lord and the library, as one, have ceased to exist.
We make our way back to the Four Seasons.
The army of hobgoblins disperses, without a general to lead them. The ones created by the Lord ceased to exist when he did, and the others, without the lash of a true Fae to keep them loyal, break away from the fighting at the first opportunity, opening hedge gates and going back to the hedge. From there, it isn't difficult for the rest, for the seasonal monarchs, to bring their the courtiers back to the Four Seasons basement. During the fighting, there was only a few casualties, about 20 wounded, 2 or 3 dead.
When everyone arrives, the room that had been ransacked, the main hall where the royal dais is, has been repaired. Everything set back in its place. Elliot has made a drink for every single person set at their usual places around the tables, including one unsetting. It is something that he has been working on for his new bar. An evolution of the zombie called the Demi-Lich. For something that is staying dead and something to celebrate our new life long after we should have fallen. The Demi-Lich, everyone. Let's get fucking plastered. That is every single glamour I have left after this spent on Brownie's Boon doing the work of an army in the course of about 5 minutes.
And Kid is just sitting at the bar, drinking a beer with his head down.
Thank you.
Finally, being able to take a deep breath.
The changelings have scarcely returned to the freehold for 5 minutes before an unofficial party is called. On the dais, the 4 royals are immediately beginning a long conversation about what to do now that the Lord of Tales is gone. Doc Tallboy has been called for the wounded. The Grimalkins seem very happy about their paper armor and do not take it off as they begin serving. With the Lord of Tales gone, the freehold is safe for now. The nature of the true fae is such that another is bound to spring up. The lost are never truly safe from the threat of the gentry. But for now, there is peace. And a new day will be dawning soon. And I think this is where we leave off.
It's been a pleasure performing for you guys, and thank you all for watching this far. We've had an incredible time.
Yep, this is the end. But we are working on some other stuff. We will be posting about this in the upcoming weeks. Keep a look on at
We're going to be posting Kenny's Blue Sky and Twitter handle.
Dr. Chrononaut? Yes, sorry.
Please follow us. It's the best way to know what we're up to. We're taking a couple weeks off after all of this, but we have intentions on either starting something I'll be running or setting up for, in a little bit further, another campaign that Kenny will be doing. Either way, you'll be hearing from us as soon as we've got news for you.
For our final time, let's go around the table and do our aspirations.
Jeff, you want to go first?
Yeah. So my aspiration for this one, win by whatever means necessary.
I say that one's resolved.
I only had one aspiration as well, and it was win by any means necessary.
Very much resolved.
And yeah, I only had one aspiration as well. Win by any means necessary.
Likewise, resolved.
Good night, everybody.
All right, have a good night. Remember, Onyx Path game night is the last Friday of the month. You can find that information on the Onyx Path Discord. Thanks for sticking with us this long, and I hope that we'll see you again in our next project.